holding it from falling to the roof. The way it landed was beyond compare. A sweet smell of blood pumped through the air. His skull fell open like a piece of fruit whose globe has ripened in the heat of Spain. I dipped my sword, flicked out some bits of brain, and stared down at the dark and crimson pool, which reflected nothing, remained aloof, but changed the air and charged with heat the stone. We had a laugh about the pompous fool. I wiped my blade and shoved it in its chute. Agamemnon. She chucks his head across the tiles. She knows this bloody act's not ended, there'll be more. The bath was filthy with the dirt of war. He steps out, greeted by his wife, who throws a net, not a towel, around him, and smiles. Her lover shoves the sword in. Agamemnon falls. The man who took 1,000 ships to Troy lies dead. Clytemnestra cleaves his head with her axe. She gets a surge of manic joy. She knows it isn't ended, there'll be more. She throws his head, it skids across the tiles. The bath was filthy with the dirt of war. He's greeted by his wife, who smiles and throws a net, not a towel, and Agamemnon falls. Marduk. He goes to see her underground, the steps descending round and round, who sings descending minor scales and tries to keep her nerve but fails. He carries now a butcher's cleaver, until the morning will not leave her. The song inside his head is real, there's nothing that he doesn't feel. The notes keep sliding down and down, he's lost touch with his friends in town. Persephone is all he knows, he watches everywhere she goes. He knows she whores about, and that is why the cleaver's out. Caesar. Oh yes, we feminised Caesar all right. We covered him in cunts, all on the bleed. Like a gang rape it was, we stuck our small daggers in, staring at his helpless face. I gave it to him last, down on his knees, who went from emperor to slaughtered lamb in one long instant. Casca comes in first, deftly plants his blade, makes Caesar burst, like the Tiber overflowing or a dam. The Senate and the crowd as one now flees, as Cassius and the rest takes turns to place a fresh gash in the great man. I've it all playing over and over through my head, how I come now and send him into night. Charles I. You don't know who I am, but you do know that I wore a black mask, that I swung the axe skillfully with a single blow. The head was held aloft. Then it was slung into the black velvet coffin. So much blood. But then there always is. I get my fee. When I put out my hands, it's understood. Yes, I will, and it please your majesty. The crowd watches the blade, sees it pause, then drop. I keep my eyes on the back of his neck. I made sure it was keen, used an old whetstone. It always seems to hang there at the top, and the axe goes right through to the block. I can still feel it jar, passing the bone. Salome and John the Baptist. She came and asked me what to ask him for. She had danced the dance of the 7 veils for him, my new husband, her new stepfather, and he was pleased. She gave him great pleasure. Her fierce grace and cool ardour were widely known. By the end of it, all his white doves had flown. His face was red and beaming. She was prone, like a girl of ill repute at leisure, exhausted from the frenzy of the veils, which comes about so slowly when done well. Anyway, I told her, demand John's head be brought to you on a silver platter, and that is exactly what befell. It was a thing to see his severed head. Right, to that gloomy lot. Maybe a few bit different.